my presentation's on bees are dying at an alarming rate, but really the subtitle is global warming, so I'm talking about global warming here because it's a big topic and it's really important. So here's a meme for everyone, bee movie memes. Hope you enjoy. It's just to get everyone happy, before I talk about a dark subject. So anyways, here's some facts about bees. You might be wondering, why would I care about global warming or the bees even? So here's some really cool facts. My favourite three are that every bee you've probably seen has probably been female, because worker bees are all female apparently, and they're the ones who fly around. Honey never goes off, I'm sure you might know that. And last one, honey could taste different depending on the flowers the nectar is taken from, so that's like super cool. Didn't know about that. Bees probably didn't either, but anyways, so why are bees dying at an alarming rate? And the answer is global warming, obviously, because I said it's going to be about global warming. And so yeah, what is global warming? It's the heating up of the Earth, like the temperature of the Earth, and it happens from the greenhouse effect, which is where radiation comes into the Earth from the sun, but it can't escape the Earth. Like the Earth is supposed to expel some radiation, like heat energy as well, but it can't get out because of methane gas and carbon dioxide. So yeah, here's a little picture of that happening. So as you see here, outside the temperature is lower than it is inside the glass. That's because the heat goes into the glass and it warms up the air, and the air obviously can't get out and cool it down. So that's pretty much happens on the Earth. Was that someone from our class?
No.
Oh, okay. So here's just a really old picture. It's probably taken from like a book like 10 years ago about this greenhouse effect. So as you see here, deforestation, oil and petrol engines, greenhouse gases and fossil fuels, right? They all emit carbon dioxide, and you have CFCs over there, which come from aerosol cans, and they're really bad for the environment as well. And what happens is just all these gases kind of collect up here in that atmosphere, and none of the radiation come out. So yeah, the world's heating up, and this is, like I said, this is pretty old. This picture. So one thing that's really missing and it's really important that just came out like in recent years, and the biggest factor that contributes to global warming are cows, right? So cows are actually really terrible for the environment. We everyone loves eating a good old steak, right, every day. Steak's my favorite food personally, but they're actually terrible because of that they release methane gas. So methane gas is produced when cows chew on food and when they poop as well. And a single cow, as you see there, releases between 70 to 120 kilograms of methane per year. I did the maths. There's 1.5 billion cows and bulls in the world, so there's an average of 142.4 billion kilograms of methane produced a year by cows. And the important thing is, CO2 is released by like factories and stuff, right? But cows release methane, and methane is 23 times more like damaging to the atmosphere than CO2. Like that is just a massive amount more damaging than CO2 is, right? So cows are obviously bad, and from cows is just the whole agricultural community. Agriculture is pretty bad. So the population has grown in the world. We're like how many people? 7 billion, 8 billion people. So demand for food has risen. Everyone wants a good old steak, except for vegetarians. And forest and land has to be destroyed for this. So trees are being taken down. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, so carbon dioxide is just going up into the atmosphere. It's killing everyone. Well, not killing everyone, but heating up the world. And clearing forests produces an extra 2.8 billion metric tons of CO2 a year. And that CO2, it's not as bad as methane, but sure, it's still a lot. And agriculture is responsible for 18% of the total release of greenhouse gases worldwide, which is actually a lot because a large percentage of that actually comes from natural factors like volcanoes and other tectonic activity. So that's actually quite a big amount. And the rest is probably just from factories and stuff, but yeah, that's actually a big amount. It mightn't seem like a big amount, but it is. So here's just some pictures of deforestation. It's pretty sad. Even if you go into the Wicklow Mountains, you can see some trees have been cut down. It's actually kind of sad. Here's actually a really shocking picture, and this was from a video that was released 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now. This is a video of a polar bear starving to death pretty much. As you see here, he's lost all his muscle. It's called atrophy or something. And yeah, it's a really shocking image, and images like these are important that people see these, and I feel like a lot of people don't see these images, and they're important to be seen by people because that's what's happened. This is what all those gases are doing. This global warming is important, So what are the solutions to these issues? So right now the Paris Agreement is going on. So it aims to respond to global warming, to stop the increase in temperature per year by about 2 degrees Celsius, where they aim to have 1.5 degrees. So we want to keep temperature increase to like a minimum. 195 UN members have signed it, but only 3 countries are on track so far. There's a really nice piece of data online. The source is in my presentation, but it shows all the countries and how they're doing, how they're stacked up in this whole Paris Agreement. And only 3 countries are on track: Sweden, Germany, and France. And Ireland is actually number 18 on the list out of all those countries, 195. But even being number 18, it's like, if you look, we're barely doing anything. Donald Trump is a big problem to this whole global warming thing. He doesn't believe in global warming, he doesn't believe in climate change. He signed America out of the Paris Agreement when he was signed into Congress. But what was really nice is that all the American states all said that they want to actually take on the Paris Agreement. So each state in Paris is actually doing that now. Now each state in America is actually taking on the agreement. So what can we do? Just eat less meat. It might seem like that does much, but if people eat less meat, then less cows will be out there, like less amount of cows farmers would need to like breed and stuff. Recycling, of course, because throwing away rubbish and getting it incinerated adds to the CO2. We switched to green energy, windmills and water energy, and purchase solar panels for our home. They are pretty expensive, but they're getting cheaper and cheaper as the years go on. Elon Musk from SpaceX is doing great work on that. There is kind of a happy side to this. Well, not a happy side. There is like a Jesus of global warming, I'd like to call him. It's your boy Leo DiCaprio. Right, look at this beautiful man. He's actually, you wouldn't expect him to be like, an activist for global warming, but he actually really is. He created the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, which aims to stop global warming, and created 2 documentaries on global warming called Cowspiracy and Before the Flood. Before the Flood is in bold there because I watched that and it was really great. It's like so it's amazing, pretty much. And don't look at that, that's kind of sad. Before the Flood is a great documentary. I'd recommend it to everyone. He shows like all the effects of global warming and everything, and talks to like leaders of the world about global warming and what they want to do about it. And he's the United Nations Messenger of Peace, so for global warming, which is a pretty high title. And just before this quote, it's really good that Leo here is actually doing something about the environment, and especially since he's famous, he can have a bigger outreach to people than just ordinary people might have or politicians might have, because everyone loves a good old movie with Leo in it. Anyways, this quote was taken out of the documentary Before the Flood, and I think it's a really powerful quote, and I don't know if I have time to read it all. I do. It's such a good quote, and I think everyone should hear it. So, climate change is real. It is happening right now. It is the most urgent threat facing our entire species, and we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating. We need to support leaders around the world who do not speak for the big polluters, but who speak for all of humanity, for the indigenous people of the world, for the billions and billions of underprivileged people out there who would be most affected by this, for our children's children, and for those people out there whose voices have been drowned out by the politics of greed. So, Leo's a rich man himself, but he still cares about the environment, which is great. So I guess to wrap up the whole presentation, are bees actually dying? And sadly, the answer is yes. And I mean, really, studies have shown that beekeepers in the US have lost 33% of their bees since last year, and the numbers will only increase from there unless we do something. And we all just have to try our best. We all have to try and do something. Personally, can't give up eating meat, to be honest, but reducing the amount of meat you eat could be good. Just recycle as well. I know a lot of time people can be lazy and just throw everything into the same bin, but yeah. I'm buzzing for any questions, if anyone has any questions. And here's some memes if you don't want to ask any questions, but you can look at them. Thank you.
Well done, very good, very humorous. So I have 1 or 2 things. So I learned a lot actually, which is great. My first question was what can we do about the cows, but you kind of answered that a little bit.
Yeah.
But kind of leading from that, so how is the methane gas so much more damaging? Like what happens?
I tried to make this presentation so it'd all be wrapped up and no open ends, but you got me there. I don't know, to be honest. It's probably just thicker. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably absorbs more light rays. I don't know the chemistry on it.
Yeah, no, I just thought maybe you went a simple explanation first, seeing as obviously